Hello 3D printing friends, I'm here with the Creality Ender 3 Max 3D printer. Today I'm going to show you how to set this printer up, doing the bed leveling, the Z offset, and making a mesh with your auto bed leveling probe, the CR Touch. You may also use a BL Touch. If your printer is not outfitted with a BL Touch or a CR Touch, I highly recommend adding one. We will be working with that today, and I suggest you work with that on all of your Creality printers. This machine is updated to the latest version of the stock Creality firmware, and that's what we'll be using today to set this up. Let's get started. This is a used Ender 3 Max, and we're going to treat it the same as a new Ender 3 Max. The first thing we're going to do is grab these knobs right here and twist them. Notice I twist them together. I want things to happen together. I want things to be relatively the same and adjusted relatively easily and adjusted relatively evenly to start. We're going to go until it feels just a little snug. Eventually we're going to probably have to stop doing them together, as I doubt they came in with the exact same tightness. They didn't. This one feels snug already. This one took a little bit extra. I'm not talking tight, just snug. Doing this will bring the bed down. Next, we're gonna go in the back and do the same thing. Turn them like crazy. These are super loose, so we don't want this. Just turn, 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 equally, until they get snug. It may take a lot of turns to get it snug. So what we've done is tighten the knobs and bring the bed as low as possible. Now we're going to turn it on and bring this nozzle down to the bed. Turn the printer on. On your screen, click the button, scroll to prepare, click the button, scroll to auto home. Okay, now that your printer is home, click on your menu, scroll to prepare, click on prepare, go to move access, go to move Z, and go to the smallest denomination on your screen. On mine it's move 0.1, yours will likely be the same. You'll see it's at 10, we are going to go down to 0. Not minus, but 0. 0 is what your machine wants to use to print. You'll see that this is way too far from the bed, but that's okay because our knobs are very tight right now. We're going to loosen them to bring things up just a little bit. We're going to grab them together and just turn a whole bunch of times. You're going to notice this is raising the bed and bringing the nozzle closer to the bed. I'm now going to do that in the back. I'm going to grab the nubs and loosen them, both at the same time. Just a few turns. Okay, just like that. Don't worry about how many turns I did. I'm just doing a few turns to loosen the knobs a little bit, raise the bed a little bit, and give me some play, both tighter and looser, while the knobs are still snug enough to stay put. Okay guys, now we're gonna tram this bed using the paper method, which is done with a piece of paper. To get started, click on your menu, scroll all the way up, scroll all the way up, and scroll back down to Disable Steppers. Click on Disable Steppers. That will disable the motors, allowing you to move things freely. We're going to move the print bed and the print head roughly to the middle. we are going to click on the menu, click on prepare, click on move axis, click on move Z. We're going to scroll down to 0.1. Is the smallest on the stock firmware. Click that and start scrolling down. You're going to scroll a whole bunch and see your head going down a whole bunch. Once it gets close to the bed, I want you to stop and start moving slowly, just 1/10 at a time. Moving the paper as you turn the knob. Turning the knob, moving the paper. What's going to happen is all of a sudden, you're going to start feeling the paper grab. Once it grabs like this, you know you're touching the glass bed, okay? So we're going to take our knob and we're going to turn it up just a little bit, like 1 notch at a time. The idea is you want to get it so you feel the tension of the nozzle, but the paper doesn't bunch up. So we go down a touch more. See, it starts to bunch up, it's real tight. So go up one more and you'll feel it there. Sometimes I like to grab 2 hands and just do like this. Feel it. Very nice. Click on the menu button, go back up, go back up, go back to main. Now go down to control, go down to bed leveling, go down to probe Z offset, and set that number on your screen to the number that you just had previously. Ours was -3.7, so we're going to set ours to -3.7. Click the button, scroll down, store settings, and there you go. We have set our Z offset. Our Z right there, -3.7. Before you get started, make sure your steppers are disabled. You can check by simply grabbing this. If it's firm, they're not disabled. Go to prepare, scroll down, disable steppers. Having done that, you should be able to move this loosely and move this loosely. Now, we're going to manually tram this bed, starting with this corner. Slide a piece of paper under the nozzle. If you can't do it and you find it's really tight, you can go back to the menu and bring your Z offset up 1/10. Gently move the nozzle left and push the bed back. Be very careful. If your tramming and your Z offset are not agreeing, your nozzle may drag on the bed. If that happens, I suggest you bring the Z offset up. Now that we're here, we're going to take our paper and we are simply going to move it like this. See how loose it is? We need to bring it closer till we feel that vibration, that slight drag. We're going to take the knob and unscrew it. As we unscrew it, the glass bed comes up. And now look, I feel it. We're going to stop. We move slowly and we make small movements because it doesn't always react in real time. Sometimes you turn this knob and it takes a second or two for the springs to do their thing and to feel the difference. And then gently push this over. You can see it's really tight. It's really tight. I'm going to grab this knob and we're going to tighten this knob, turning it counterclockwise. This will lower the bed. I'm going to slowly do it and feel. There we go. Now the paper is moving smoothly. So now we are going to unscrew it to bring that corner up a little bit. Feel it, turn it, feel it, turn it. I feel some rubbing, so we're going to stop. Pull the bed forward. Same thing in the back. Super loose. So we're going to unscrew that knob until we start to feel it. Now I'm feeling it. We're going to go this way. That's all. Very small adjustments. I'm already feeling it on this one. So back to the front. Feels a little loose. We're going to adjust it a little bit. I'm talking a little bit. Rubbing and adjusting. Rubbing and adjusting. There we go. I feel it. Back to this side. Round and around we go. Ooh, look how tight that is. Because you tighten one side, the other side goes up. Same with the corners. We loosen this a touch. We're making small adjustments. Real small now. Real small. Ooh, it's super tight. We're going to tighten this knob Real small adjustments till it feels okay. And back around we go. This one's a little loose. I'm gonna loosen this up a bit until I feel it. Alright, and go over here. That one I like the feeling. Maybe a little loose, not sure. I think it's okay. We're not going to go crazy just yet. This is a little loose again. We're going to turn this knob looser, right? Looser makes it tighter. There you go. Looser makes it tighter because it brings the bed up to the nozzle. Little vibration. This one's a little tight now. We're going to loosen this one a touch. Just a touch. Not bad. Check this one again. I feel that one's okay. That one. I feel that one's not so bad. I feel this one. This one's a little bit loose again. Just a wee bit. We're going to loosen it some more until we feel it. There you go. I feel it. All the way around. Yep. All the way around. The idea is not to get it perfect, but to get it consistent, right? You want the rubbing on all four corners to feel consistent, to feel similar. If they all feel similar, then you know the bed is roughly trammed, it's roughly level, meaning all areas of the bed are the same distance from the nozzle. We're not talking about level like bubble level. We're talking about the same distance from the bed to the nozzle. This printer can print sideways like this, okay? It has nothing to do with level. It has to do with distance between the nozzle and the bed. Okay, now that we manually trammed the bed and manually set the Z offset, it's time to create a mesh. We do that using the auto bed leveling probe. On this machine, it's the CR Touch. Yours might be the BL Touch. They're both the same. They work the same. They use the same firmware. What it's going to do is touch the bed in multiple points and study the minor inconsistencies in the tramming. It will then create a map known as a mesh of the bed, adjusting for any minor inconsistencies in the leveling of the bed, and it will compensate when it prints to treat it as if it were level. Let's do it. Before you level your bed, I highly suggest going into Prepare, Preheat PLA, and preheating your bed. You'll see now the bed is being preheated to 60 degrees. It is currently 25 degrees. When this reaches 60, your bed has reached the programmed temperature. The reason we do that is because glass expands and contracts as it heats and cools. So we don't want to have the probe study the bed while it's cold and contracted, then do a print where we heat the bed and the glass expands. Now that we've set our Z offset, we're going to manually tram this bed with the same piece of paper. And now changes our bed situation. So we want to have the probe study the bed and create the mesh at the temperature we're going to be printing. This doesn't mean you have to print at this exact bed temperature every time, but it's at least in the ballpark compared to cold. Now we're going to click on the menu wheel, go to Control, go to Bed Leveling, and go to Level Bed. Okay, so you've just created your first mesh. Now it's very important. I want you to go into your menu and save. Control, Store Settings, click, make sure you hear the beep. Okay, we're all set, and it's time to do our first test print. Against my better judgment, I'm going to use the spool that came with it. The first thing you're going to do is grab your clippers, and cut a piece off. Put the spool on the holder, take your filament and feed it into your runout sensor. If it doesn't go through, simply take it out, take your finger, straighten it out, just like that, just straighten it out, and try again. Now that it goes through, push it into the hole of the extruder until it touches the gear, squeeze the handle, push it through, slowly let go, and push it through again. Do you see what happened? When you slowly let go, it pushed the filament this way into the hole. If you try to feed it all the way through while it's still squeezed, it will guide the filament in a circle and come out the side over here. So let it get back into the hole. Once it's in the hole, you can squeeze again and push it all the way through until it gets to the hot end. You'll know it's at the hot end because you're going to feel it stop. Okay, it stopped, let it go. You've loaded your filament. Before you print, I highly recommend spraying the bed with isopropyl alcohol, IPA, and using a paper towel and wiping down the bed, or using a cloth with alcohol on it already, such as one I'm using. Do you see the color? It's like a yellowish brownish substance. Who knows what happened to this print bed before it got to you. And you don't need any foreign substances on your print bed when you're trying to get PLA to stick on it. Now, here on the menu, click the screen, go to Print from TF, and look for your folder that says Model. In there, you'll have a variety of models. I have a test dog. If you have a test dog, click on that. If you have a cat, click on that. Click on whatever you see. Click on it. This is a G-code file. It's already been sliced and configured and ready for printing. You'll notice that the temperature has changed to 60. That's the temperature of the glass bed. It's currently 32. And this is the nozzle. The nozzle is set to 0. Once this reaches 60, it will set the nozzle temperature to what it wants. Once they both reach these configured settings, the print will begin. Now, you'll see the nozzle temperature has been set to 200. The current temperature is 102 and climbing. When it reaches 200, it'll begin to print. Okay, this is very important. We're going to use the early stages of this test print. To do that, click on your menu, click on Tune, click on Probe the Offset, and wait for it to start printing. The first thing it's going to do is create a wipe on the left side of the glass. We're going to be ready with our finger on that knob. If it starts to grind into the glass, you want to go higher. So if you don't see anything coming out, our Z is too low, and we want to go higher. I don't see anything coming out, so I'm turning my knob to go higher. That's a lower number because we set it to minus, remember? So far nothing coming out, we're still too close to the glass. We're going to raise our Z offset, taking this number and making the number lower, see? Lower, lower. Higher is lower because we're minus. We do that and we look till it starts to print. Oh, it started to print. While it's printing, you take your finger and you get in there and you touch it. You rub it, okay? Is it coming off? No, it's not coming off. That's good. Stay put. Don't move your Z offset anymore. If this is moving when you rub it, you want to go back down closer to the bed. Okay? If it's looking really thin and frail and weak, like you can see through it, then you're going to go higher to make it thicker. This looks like a nice thick line and it's not moving, so I'm going to keep it. When you feel the filament, it should feel smooth and shiny, not rough like sandpaper. Sometimes this skirt is not the easiest judgment of that. So we'll wait till that first layer gets started. Okay, here we go. It's printing that first layer of our little doggy. You're going to take your finger and you're going to just get in there and you're going to feel it, okay? It's really hard because it's a small print. When you do this, you should probably use a bigger print. Okay, you're going to get in there and you're going to rub that first layer with your finger. If it feels rough like sandpaper, you're going to inch it up just a tad. If it feels smooth and shiny, then you're good and you're going to leave it be. I like the way this feels, so we're going to leave it be. Let's go ahead and let it print and see what happens. All right, so there it is. A perfect little doggy. Printed really well. There was some black filament in the nozzle because this was a used machine, so you can see he get a little dirty under his paws there. Now this is very important because you adjusted your Z offset while it was printing. Go to Control, Store Settings, and save that new Z. Okay, there you have it. We took a brand new, used in this case, Ender 3 Max from the box to a successful print in one shot, doing the manual tramming, the manual Z offset, the auto bed leveling mesh, and then the baby step Z offset adjustments. You can do this too with your creality printer. Just follow along and you can have success too. Now, stop printing crazy calibration cubes and fancy leveling patterns that cover your whole bed and go print something cool.